Mates, how are we all doing? Here's the second video today over at Bruckner Nature Center. So I literally just did my last video on the purple stemmed angelica. Now we're going to move on to the Eastern Cottonwood, which is these trees that we see right in front of us. So the Eastern Cottonwood is also known as the Populus deltoides. So you could say it is a type of poplar. However, they are a bit different, in terms of their characteristics. Let's just say, since they like to have moist, well-drained soils, they like to be in areas that are kind of swampy or close to rivers. And with that being said, when they have the right conditions, they can grow to be about, up to 80 to 110 feet. I mean, it's wild. I mean, they can just grow very tall, given the right condition. But they are also versatile. They can adapt to drought, too. However, they only do that in worst case scenario, of course. But since the bark is thick in this tree, they can actually, if ever there's a forest fire, they can actually withstand such conditions. So that's another thing about their versatility, is these trees really don't go down so easily whatsoever. But yeah. Hold on just a second, you guys. Okay, my bad, you guys. I had to pause for a moment. I had to let a couple of people pass through. So going back to what I was mentioning about, due to their versatility, they can actually be used for several things. They can actually, they can be used for pulpwood or even as wooden pallets too. Like wooden pallets. Things that you might see at like a warehouse, distribution center, or even a grocery store where you see the skids. Well, another term for those are pallets, because they are, in a sense, a bit of a lighter wood. So it's very useful for that purpose, indeed. But the only thing that could really take them down once they reach their full maturity is they could just be wind or lightning strikes. That's really about it. But you may be wondering, why exactly are they called a cottonwood? Well, you can't see them quite directly at the moment, but if you had a chance to actually, go up to the tree, they actually produce these little capsules that could be about, 5 to 6 inches long. And these little capsules, they release the cotton substance, more or less. And in this cotton, there are seeds. And so that is how they really disperse. And what's even more neat about these trees is hold on just a second. Yeah, just as I was saying, what's neat about these trees is the male flowers are on a separate tree and the female flowers are on another cottonwood. So they're completely separate. It's crazy to think about how, trees can indeed have opposite genders. I mean, isn't that crazy to think about? They have separate genders from each other, just like us human beings, indeed. So that makes it really cool to me. But yeah, this is the Eastern Cottonwood, and typically, I know we don't really have a chance to see it like real up close, but the leaves, they kind of have like a triangular shape, and it kind of has like a toothed edge, and it has a very pointy tip as well. So that's another distinguishing characteristic of this tree is, you know, based on the shape of the leaf. Let me see if I can actually find an example. Okay, perfect. Yep. Well, how about that? We happen to find an example. So yeah, this is what their leaves appear as. It also kind of reminds you of looking at the shape of a teardrop too. And, you know, once it approaches into fall time, this is usually the color they turn. They're not as very colorful though. When fall approaches, they kind of just go to straight brown. So it's not as pretty to see. But regardless, they are one of the most common native trees found in the state of Ohio. So alrighty, thought I would share that with you guys. I hope you got something out of the video. I'm sure many of you have seen them before, just may not have known the name of them. As I said before, I'm going to make sure that I also provide a link as well to just tell you guys a bit further about the tree itself. So alright, hope you guys enjoy your Sunday, and once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.